Hi, Shane.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. I could get a visa because of my job, so I could get a visa and pretty much go anywhere.
Yeah,
like we have a choice. We're never going to be in a situation where we are thinking, okay, I either stay here and lose my life because the country I'm living in is in such a bad way, or I drag all my family into a situation that we are probably going to lose our life on the way. Yeah. We are so lucky. We are never going to experience that.
British people that move to Spain, for example, are called expats. Everyone else is an immigrant.
Yeah.
I've never
It's like you deserve a round of applause for buying a house in another country. We are doing the exact same thing.
I just don't understand the hatred and like. Sorry, Cara. I just
no,
don't.
go on, sorry.
My uncle has always said to me, he's 99, right, and he fought in the war. He's a Chelsea pensioner, and he always said to me, nobody owns land. People should be able to move freely as they want to. And I've always like taken that value on, because how can you own a bit of land? It just doesn't make sense.
No, and we all live in the same world.
Yeah.
Like, we're all on the same world. We're all on the same planet. Like, you know, the wars are damaging the earth. You damage the earth, we're all going to suffer. Not just one country, we're all going to suffer.
It's so like old-fashioned. Like we only have all this happening because of things that happened thousands of years ago when the English went and decided to take over everybody else's land.
Like, you know the crown jewels? You know the crown jewels, thank you, Chloe, in the Tower of London, they don't belong to us, they're stolen.
Yeah, if we didn't take things from other countries, we would actually have nothing. We don't have money that's ours. It's taken. Like I just think like British, like when it comes to British values, we don't have our own. We have everybody else's.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I just think it's really interesting. Like, you know, you've got, and I'm going to say this, and I'm sorry, I've got to pin this out, but you've got like someone like Delulu, right? Where her whole chat is saying vote reform when Delulu is, okay, her parents are British, but she's moved over here, right? She is not herself British, okay? She is living here, and she literally is one of the people that's bleeding the country dry. Like, are you joking? She is the issue. And yet you don't have an issue with what she's doing, but you have an issue because there's, you know, a non-white person just living their life and living and respecting their religion. Do you know what I mean? Come on, think about it.
Without immigration, my children wouldn't have been born, so...
I wouldn't be. Like, my dad's from Southern Ireland. He came over here when he was 17 to work in London. And he's 72 now. When he first came over here, he wasn't even allowed in a hotel. They'd have signs saying, no black people, no Irish, on the doors. Like, and that was just a matter of years ago. It's within my father's lifetime that even the Irish were looked down on in that way. Now, everybody loves them. Everybody wants Irish. Everyone's got Irish in their family. And it's just... And again, but that's just because of skin colour. It could be the exact same thing with any nation if people just allowed it. People bring goods into the UK, but they only focus on what people can take from the UK.
Gemma, I wouldn't tell anyone who to vote for. People can vote for whoever they want. I done a quiz last night and it said I should vote for Party for the People, which I've never heard of.
You know what, guys? I did the citizenship test last night because I was curious to see what it is. And I didn't even pass that citizen test as an English citizen. That test is ridiculous. Like, so they don't make it easy for people to come over here and live safely. They don't. I didn't pass it. If you go online and you do the English citizen test, it is ridiculous.
We've looked at it before, and the majority of the questions, I'd never even heard of what they were asking. But then they're expecting people who English isn't even their first language to understand. They're not going to be studying English history.
Honestly, Cara, do the test. It is so, honestly, it is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. What
questions does it ask?
It asks questions like, who was the person that built this old time building, and who won two who are these two people won the Oscars that were British? It asked them honestly. I swear to God, go and do the test. Honestly, I promise you now, go and do the test. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever come across in my life. I didn't pass it. Like
I didn't when I tried it. I didn't have a clue.
It is ridiculous. By the way, Cordy, as well, there is one for Scotland as well.
So in Scotland, all we got taught in history was either World War II, or we also got taught about the freaking, like, the Angus, what are they called, like the MacDonald clan and all of this kind of shit. That's what we got taught. Like, I don't feel, we learned a little bit about Queen Victoria. Like, I don't feel we learned about everything about British history. We learned
not proper history.
The easiest question out of all them questions, right, I'm not even joking you, was who was Queen Elizabeth II's husband? I swear, honestly.
That's ridiculous.
I promise, every single one of you, go and do that test and you will realise why people are coming over the way they're coming over. Because, listen, they ain't passing no tests. Because I, as a British citizen, cannot pass that test.
What has the Oscars got to do with anything, though? That's
so
interesting.
All of the questions are so irrelevant. Like, it's not questions or information that's going to value them whilst they're here.
Oh, and
like,
sorry, the other question.
You know, how do we apply? Like, how do you do this? How, you know, like, what services are available in the UK to make them aware? It's the complete opposite. It's things that we are not taught in school, or I wasn't. I'm in Wales, though, so it may be different to England, but the history that they were asking, I have never even heard of.
Libby, I wouldn't have anyone in my house, whether they was illegal or not, because I've got children and I would protect my children. But people were like jumping to have Ukrainian refugees. That's my point.
So another thing I wanted to obviously bring up was the fact that, you know, when Brexit happened, a lot of the conversation was geared towards, you know, Eastern European, right? We want the Eastern European out because they're taking all the jobs. This is quoting, by the way, what people were saying, not me saying it, right? This was the situation. And now it's gone and changed to now let's target Muslims. Which is interesting because it's only Muslims that keep banging on about. That's all Nigel Farage brings up. I
can't stand that. I don't know why anyone would want Nigel Farage to run the country. I don't get it.
This is what he said. Listen to this. If you don't basically listen to British values or adapt to British values, you're eradicated. So this is why I want to know what British values is, because if British values is living the Christian life, well, I'm eradicated because I don't live a Christian life. Like,
I definitely don't live a Christian life. No. I'm supposed to.
I've seen that video of it's like an EDL guy, and he's like, yeah, you can build your mosques here, but make sure you go and build them in Mecca. That's my favourite video on the internet.
Oh my God.
Pay for it then. Yeah,
all I'm going to say is people that think that British should just be British people, yeah, you tell me that when you need emergency surgery and there's not that surgeon, not them surgeons there anymore. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, yeah, Brexit. None of us could go on holiday and everyone's fucking whinging. Oh, the airports are struggling for staff. Yeah, because you voted Brexit. Because you know, remember the Eastern Europeans are stealing all your fucking jobs?
Our NHS would not survive without the help of overseas nurses, doctors, surgeons. It's all relied on agency workers.
Exactly. And Libby, doctors are a bit different. I'm sorry, why are they different?
Not different at all.
Why are they different? They're no different. There's no different. So you basically just want people here that are successful and gonna benefit just the British people, yeah? That's the most stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Mr. Chocolate, you can piss off. I think from what I'm reading, it says that Labour are gonna win, but I don't like Keir Starmer. He annoys me so much.
I read stuff about Keir Starmer last night that I really didn't want to read.
I loved Jeremy Corbyn so much.
I'm just trying to
I didn't realise that he was in charge of the CPS when all the Jimmy Savile stuff happened.
Yeah, you've got to just kind of remind yourself that Keir Starmer is only the face of a party. Like, he's just the person who reads out what they've all decided.
And can we just remember as well that they're probably mostly nonces anyway? Like, they're all probably part of a massive
exactly.
ring.
It's based.
Alicia said it.
No, but I think they probably are like they're all wrong uns. Look at court systems and that when it comes to nonces and wrong uns and grape and whatever. Look how low the sentences are. Do you know, I saw a policy last night. I can't remember which party it was, and it was saying that they're going to open a whole unit for historical grape cases because there's so many that have gone like under the radar that haven't been looked into, that haven't been sorted out.
Yeah, so I read on reading through Labour's policies last night, and one of them is that they are going to make sure all local police services have specialised teams to actually be dealing with it. I was like, that's a really good thing. I don't know how that doesn't exist already, though.
They took loads of money away from the police force, and they cut the police force.
I just feed my dick.
That's a kid.
Wait, what time is it for y'all? Nigger.
Oh,
That's a kid.
children.
Sake. Honestly, this is why I don't let people in I don't know, but it's sometimes when you're having these conversations, you want to hear what somebody else has got to say.
And then I was reading Liberal Democrats last night, but they're very, very left-wing, and I'm not very, very left-wing. I'm not like a snowflake. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, well, like on my Instagram story, I put up a link where you do a test and it shows you, it asks you questions and then it shows you what party your answers fall into. So my top one was Green Party, my second one was Plaid Cymru, and then it was Labour. Below that, my Conservatives and Reform were in the minus. I'd said no on their questions so hard that it was like minus 70 on one and minus 80 something on the other.
like, why do they want to bring back fox hunting Reform? Like, what are they gaining from that? Why would you want to do that?
Apparently that's one of these British values. It's
just cruel.
It's something that British people do, and I'm like, if that's what British people do.
But they want fox hunting, but then they'll sit there and say, I ain't touching halal meat.
Yeah, exactly, because that's too cruel. But then, tying a fox up and dragging them for miles, that's not cruel.
If you look at Liberal Democrats' manifesto, it's very, very left-wing, like massively left-wing, and it's just a bit too much for me.
Yeah, see, I used to think I was quite left-wing, but I would probably say I'm central, but leaning towards left.
Yeah, same here. When I was reading...
That's what my dad said, that Corbyn is, he was like, he's a left-wing twat. I was like, all right, Robin, fucking hell. But do you know what? I just liked him because I think he was a good human being, like a really decent, real human being, and that's why I liked him.
I loved it when they were sitting in the church and he didn't sing along to like the Queen stuff, like singing and stuff, and I was like,
R.I.P. Lizzie.
I just loved that. I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was great. He doesn't support the royal family, so he didn't sing, and I'm like, that's
they should get rid of the monarchy. I'm not even since the Queen died, it's nothing.
I completely agree. Turn it into a museum, make money that way. People will still visit, they get to look inside.
But they would, because when you actually go to Buckingham Palace and stuff, no one actually sees the Queen, well, the King now. Do you know what I mean? They only just see a building, so they would still make money. Look at France. The royal buildings still get tourism.
Does anyone live in Buckingham Palace?
I think we should make stand-up comedians Prime Minister.
Oh, God, no.
Oh. What, like Frankie Boyle?
Yeah, Frankie Boyle should be Prime Minister.
I'm disconnecting you for that one. Absolutely fucking not.
Frankie Boyle blocked me on Twitter and I miss him every day.
Frankie Boyle will be putting his Reform vote in today, let's be honest.
Alicia, I'll come back up. For fuck's sake. Poor Alicia. Justice for Alicia. Just come back up, Alicia, if you want. How many people have you been blocked, Alicia? Who I was blocked by? Who have I been blocked by? There was someone I got blocked by on Twitter that was quite... Was it Jeffree Star? Yeah, it was. Jeffree Star blocked me once.
I've been voted. That word is in my head now. I've been blocked by far too many on Twitter. I stopped using it because I'm like, it's not worth it anymore.
I've not... Wait, don't tell... Alicia, have you been banned? Bananaed? Why did you get blocked from Stormzy?
What did you do to Stormzy? What's he done for you to say something mean to him? Except cheat on my Ajama, you know.
No, I didn't get banned, but I don't care because I've got 2 of my accounts back today, so it's fine.
Why did you get blocked by Stormzy?
I can't remember, but like, I can't remember what happened with Stormzy. This is years ago, but with like Professor Green blocked me. He told me to sit on a harpoon and then blocked me. Chipmunk blocked me because I told him his music's shit and he's got a big head. Loads of people on Twitter. I wasn't like horrible, but yeah, it was funny at the time.
I mean, I got blocked from Jeffrey because remember he was kept going on about, oh, I've got the proof of James Charles, and I'm like, so rather than going to the police to prove that he's this horrible person, you're just going to go all over the internet and be like, I have proof. And he blocked
It's like insane. That happens all the time, like especially on TikTok. People are like, I have proof of this. I'm like, so what are you doing? Just keeping it on your phone? Like, go and do what's right with it. Don't be using it to put it out there. Don't tell TikTok first.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think awareness needs to be raised, obviously. But then at the same breath, like when you've got people like that fucking AR, I'm sorry, AR is my biggest pet hate on this app, going about and deliberately creating fake messages saying that they're messaging. And you'll notice he always says they're 15 years old, the people that he's claiming have been messaging.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Under, like, just scraping the barrel of being unacceptable legally. It's always the same story repeated.
It pisses me off so much. And then some people are stupid enough to listen to him, and I'm like, awareness needs to be made. I'm going to go with my gifts on. Fuck's sake. So are you going to vote today, Cara?
Yeah. So last time I went up first thing in the morning and I was queuing for about 3 hours. So I'm not doing that today. I'm going to go like this afternoon, and I'm just still undecided. I'm stuck between Green Party and Labour. Labour because it feels like this is like a two-way thing. I think it's going to be Reform or Labour getting in.
Yeah.
So it's like that one vote could end up making a difference. That gets them in.
Yeah,
But
that's I get. See, that's
Yeah,
what I
like,
said. Like people that live
Green
down
Party.
south. That makes sense because if it is between Reform and Labour, you're better to go with between those rather than Green. I hate the fact that saying Green is a wasted vote, but sometimes it is.
that's the thing. Like, really, I want to vote Plaid Cymru, and like Green Party and Plaid Cymru is the people who I'm like, yes, these are the people who I stand with the most, and they share most of my beliefs. But yes, it can give them more seating, give them more of a voice. It can help in the next election, but that could be taken away, that little bit of vote that pushes it away from Reform getting in. Because I don't understand, when it was UKIP, everyone was like, oh my gosh, they are awful, stay away from them. You'd have obviously the odd racist that like to push them.
Yeah.
They've gone and renamed themselves. And everyone's like, oh, the word reform, I stand by that. That's what we need. We need to reform the UK. And I'm like, they've already manipulated you just by changing their name.
It's the same with so it's basically how Donald Trump did it. Let's make America great again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? By
It's the
using
exact
the
same thing.
tag of making our country a better place, that's what Reform have basically done. They've seen how Donald Trump does it, because even though, when I was in America, I actually did speak to this taxi driver who's black, and he said, look, how much he had said racist things towards other people, he did do great things for black community. You know what I mean? Within employment, you know what I mean? Like that's the thing they can't deny. But at the same breath, obviously, he said quite, let's not let any Muslims into the country. He had his issues with Mexico, and
Do you remember when Kelly Osbourne said, if you don't let Mexicans in, who's going to clean your toilets? And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, it's so ignorant. And this is the problem, is that if you read the actual manifesto, it's very different to what you hear when they're speaking on TV. Because when they speak on TV, they are speaking out to try and get certain people on side. So if they know that the EDL is all going to go and support Reform, they need to appeal to them. So
Yeah.
everything that they say on there is gonna, it's all false promises anyway. It makes no difference. It's not gonna happen whichever way.
This is box battles.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I agree, Cara. It's literally just all the same shit. This is what, when I said, I made a video earlier this morning, I was like, I feel like it is basically voting who's the best out of the shit. Like,
I think your main, it's only going to be between Conservative and Labour. Thanks, Jade. Realistically, isn't it? Like it always is. And you shouldn't waste a vote. But then we say that and then people think, oh, okay, I won't waste my vote. And then no one else gets a look in.
yeah. Yeah, I agree. Like, it's just annoying because I think if I lived in England, I would vote Green Party personally. That's the party I would
That's who I would go for. But again, like, it's a wasted vote, isn't it?
This thing though, but I'm like, is it wasted or is it giving them more of a voice? Is it gonna let them have more of a say when it comes to the next election? I'm so stuck on it. Like, this is why I can't go up yet, because I just can't make up my mind of whether I feel it's wasted or whether it's actually gonna help in the long run.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so true, Joe. Imagine US being run by a man who had a TV show and the UK run by a man who was on a TV show drinking vom.
Who?
Nigel Farage was on so I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out Here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I think you need to take your ID.
Let's be honest, he only went on there to try and be likable to the people.
Yeah.
And take a pen. If you're going, take a pen.
Yeah, take a pen with you. They will only give you a
They
pencil.
only give you pencils, and I feel like they rub them out.
Ooh, good show.
There was footage, wasn't there, on the last one of them being rubbed out. Like, it was actually filmed. So take a pen with you. You don't need a polling card. It doesn't matter if it hasn't come or you've lost it. You just need to take a form of ID. Last time, my ID was expired, so they accepted just like my utility bill as well. So there is ways around it. You don't have to have valid ID and your polling cards. You can
I'm
still.
sure people were saying yesterday that they had said that you have to take ID this time.
As long as you're registered, but yeah, it's any like form of ID. So when my photo ID was expired, they still accepted. Because I had a utility bill and stuff with me, and you're already written down anyway. If you're registered, you're written down for your local area to go and vote. So
Yeah.
we'll just tick you off.
You know,
Like, your name and address and stuff.
my family have always voted Conservative, and I only found this out a few years ago, and I'm still furious.
Well, I mean, I actually feel like disowning my mother. I don't know if she was winding me up, but she said she voted Reform, and I wanted to die. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, I'm not associated with you anymore. But I don't know, because she knows how strong I am against it. So I'm partly
Just doing
thinking, is she winding me up here? Like,
Same with my father. Like, when Brexit was happening, he was like, "Oh, I'm going to vote Brexit," and I literally looked at him and I was like, "You are an Irish immigrant when you came over here, mate." I was like, "You were absolutely not," and he didn't.
That's my thing with Rishi. Like, Rishi's forgotten his roots. Rishi needs to remember he's not a white British male. Do you know what I mean? He's forgotten his roots. Like, he doesn't give a shit about.
but did you hear him obviously speaking about, which he has a right to, I agree with him, but when someone had called him the peace slur, he obviously spoke out against that and stuff. Like, so it is obviously going to only be spoken about in his eyes when...
But even that is so ignorant because he's Indian. He's not even Pakistani.
I know. That's just a typical...
Yeah, like, he's here because his family, however long ago, came to the UK.
Yeah.
And I just think, like, you shouldn't be forgetting that at some point you were accepted in.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a shit about normal people like us. Like, I saw a thing of him at a garden party saying how much he was going to do for the rich areas and whatnot. And I remember when he was coming in, he said, "I'm going to do a lot for youth. I'm going to do football stuff, blah, blah, blah." I haven't seen any of that. We've got fuck all around here.
None of it's happened. Like, especially, again, like, in Wales, we are forgotten about. Like, the money does not come to Wales, especially... I'm more lucky to be living in South Wales than people in North Wales. The funding, even from the Welsh Government, doesn't reach North Wales. And it's just, like, it's got to change. There's so people are living in such poverty in my area. You know, there's people living next door to me who are working full-time in the NHS. I've always worked full-time in the NHS, and I've had to go and use a food bank.
Yeah.
Like, that's how bad it gets. And I just think, if the Conservatives stay in, the NHS will be privatised. It will be gone. They're already selling up. They're already only focusing on agency workers, which they pay 3 times the amount for than they do of just hiring general working. They pay a lot more.
They do
And
that
it's all
also
just
with
wasteful
building
money.
companies. I know it's not the
Yeah.
same, but they do that with building companies as well. Like they
Yeah.
just hire in agencies, and half the time, a lot of them don't even know everything.
No, so my father, bless him, like he's 72, he's still working full-time in construction. And he has so many problems with agency workers coming in, messing up the job because they don't have the experience. And it's not their fault. They are just hired by this agency, chucked on site, expected to know what to do. And it's just causing more money to fix the problems. It's very wasteful. Like, the way the UK is being run at the moment is just wasting. And
Yeah.
that's when the Green Party comes in, because they are more focused on cutting down these things. And I don't know, I am literally so conflicted on where my vote should be.
Is definitely it's tough. It's so tough, but I mean that's why I think I'm blessed in the fact that I live in Scotland, because SNP definitely are very much on my values. I know that the guy that is currently in thing has said completely opposite, which I don't agree with, because he said we need to basically get rid of it being majority white. Do you know what I mean? So he's flipping around and basically saying, you know, what Nigel Farage is saying, but towards white people, which is not okay. I don't agree with it being said either side. And I don't agree with that. That was a statement I didn't agree with. And obviously, you know, it's come out that Nicola Sturgeon's husband is doing all these dodgy dealings and things like that. But
Nicola Sturgeon still a thing?
no, she's not part of SNP anymore. But while she was First Minister, her husband was doing some dodgy book dealings.
This is the thing, and like, they're all, like, everyone who is the face of these parties are all up to no good. Like, they have the protection. It's too tempting. Like, they're going to be doing it. You can't trust any of them. You've just got to be, like I said, it's voting for the lesser evil. That's all it is. It's who is going to hurt the country the least rather than who's going to improve it the most.
Yeah.
If I was American, I'd vote for Kanye West. I would. He's my spirit animal.
I mean, he says it as it is. But do you not remember him saying that there wasn't such thing as slavery?
No. I'm laughing with shock, okay?
Yeah, no, he's honestly, reading his Twitter before used to be wild. It used to be one of my favourite hobbies, to check in and see what he's going to say that day. I was obsessed.
I think he's calmed down a lot, hasn't he? He's not as, like, he's married now and stuff to somebody else.
I think that he had ultra, what's it called? Ultra something. They done something to him. They probed his brain. I can't think what it's called. Ultra something.
Yeah, they probably did that to Britney, but it went completely fucking wrong.
You said he was like not a bad person, did he?
He said what?
Okay, yeah, I take
I
that.
remember that. Oh,
I take it back.
I think he has said anti-Semitic stuff. I remember that. He got removed off of Twitter for being anti-Semitic, didn't he?
No, I don't think he even believes the stuff he says, though. I will say that. I don't think it's just one of these like shock value things.
MK Ultra. That's sorry, I just remembered it. MK Ultra. That's what they do. They brainwash people.
Oh, that Candice Owens red wine. She does my flipping head in. She actually sat and talked about how why should, you know, it was something to do with, I can't remember. Like, there's even times that she's hatred towards black people, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I can't remember what the video was, and I am a firm believer. I don't personally agree with you having to tick a box. Do you know what I mean? To say, you know, they should know on quotas and stuff, but obviously they have to do it to protect people. But that just goes to show, like, the racists in every part of the world. The fact that a university needs to have a quota on how many people based on their ethnic background they allow in, and
You get free hospital parking in Scotland.
huh?
You get free hospital parking.
Oh, pass. I don't know. I've not been. We get through.
I don't pay anyway. I just park in the Asda near the hospital and just walk there.
We
Like
get
we do
through
in Wales, it's
prescription.
free.
You do in Wales?
Yeah, it's free to park here. And also, if you park on like double yellow lines at the hospital, you don't have to pay your parking ticket. So,
I never pay parking tickets.
neither do I. I have so many.
I had bailiffs come in once for a parking ticket, and I was like, I'm not paying to park on land that nobody owns.
I'm like, what are you going to do about it? Like, take my car. I won't have to park anywhere anymore. I actually don't care. I'm like, I am not paying it. I refuse to pay a parking ticket.
Well, what they've done where I live is they've made the whole city to become an undrivable place. So basically, if you drive near, basically in the city centre, and certain roads that are near like the shopping centres, you could get fined, and it's absolutely ridiculous. So it means that the shops are struggling because no one's able to drive to it. Like, they're expecting everyone to get on buses, but
I'm making that T-shirt that Palestine's got in her picture right now. I want that.
Where are you, Paul? Let's see.
And I'm going to make Paigey a T-shirt. I saw someone wearing a T-shirt that said more blacks, more Irish, more dogs. I'm going to make that for Paigey and she can wear it on her live.
Did you hear what EQ said about Paige and Torian?
No, what?
She said that they shouldn't be listened to. They're just wanting the drama, and like they're not even actually caring about the stuff. There is a video, I can easily share it to you. I was tagged in it, but it's they don't actually care. They're just going for people, and they're just not people that should listen to, like, anything to do with racism.
Well, then we should be saying the exact same thing
EQ?
to her. Like, it's the exact same thing. You're only saying things for shock factor. Who are you helping? Who are you speaking for?
You know, the thing is as well, everyone was like, oh, what about the KTB thing? But when the KTB thing happened, that's the night, like it happened pretty much at the same time that Paigey was attacked.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't get jumped on for that reason. Like, we was all worried about Paige, and obviously she had the police and ambulance and whatnot there.
Yeah. Yeah, like, people are not selective outrage, and that's the thing. That's like Paige and Torian are probably like the people that are definitely sitting there not selecting who they're outrageous about, like, because they're calling out everyone. They've sat and did a live and spoke about Misread. They spoke about EQ.
It comes across like it's mostly Angie and Pearl, because Angie and Pearl are always at them, and like Pearl said in her live one day that she watches mine, Paige and Torian's lives on like a Snide account.
Yeah.
So she watches them. People send Life on the Edge, records everything we do and sends it to Angie. So they're constantly at us. So that's why it comes across like it's mostly at them.
It's only like more aimed at them too, because they are the ones who are shouting the loudest.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just because it's them. It could be anyone, but they are the ones with a bigger platform and will sit on live for hours on end attacking.
Yeah, they just go at them constantly.
Yeah, they're not also bringing up, like, no one else, like KTB's not sitting on this app talking about like their children and, you know, parents that have passed away. That's Angie and Pearl. That's, do you know what I mean? It's become no longer, it's very personal now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's gone way too far. But I think the KTB thing does need spoken about.
Yeah.
It really does need to be spoken about. And I'm actually going to send Paige and Torian some videos of that, because loads of people sent them to me the other day.
Yeah, the only thing is, like, it's difficult when you talk about these people and then it suddenly gives them a platform. So like KTB went from however many in her live. As soon as she said that, there was like 600 at one point then in her life, and I'm just like, this is where it goes wrong, because the higher the viewing, it gets pushed out. New people are joining who don't know them, what she's done.
Yeah.
It just gains more support, and it's just this vicious circle. But as far as I'm concerned, like, you don't have to agree with what Paigey and Torian are saying all the time, but at least they speak it out. Like, at least they are putting their views out there, and that needs to be respected.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jojo. Do you know what really pisses me off as well is, like, the trans people on this app that are representing the trans community. I've got a friend, and I spoke to her about this. She's on this app, and she's trans. And the people that are out there that are on this app that are big, that are trans, they're like the worst people that could represent that community ever, like KTB, like Miss Faye, like EQ, like whoever, like Alphaba, you know, it's all the worst people from that community representing that community.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're all on the complete opposite sides. Like EQ's, you know, expecting that you should have transitioned at the age of 18. That's what she's saying, which is not possible for everyone. But then you've also then got, you know, Alphaba, who's just like basically saying, well, you just don't need to do anything and just sit here and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, no, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I would never sit there. So, Alphaba is the worst person. And this is where when Natasha confronted her, I 100% agree with everything she was saying. That Natasha is someone who's been, you know, transitioned for 36 years, I think she said.
She hasn't got a big platform, has she?
No. And that's the issue. It's someone who, and Natasha, I know of Natasha. Natasha literally used to like help young trans people. She probably still does. Like she was like a house mom.
Yeah, she's really good to my friend and my friend, I think she's 30 and she's going for her operation soon, but people have to wait, you know, it's not a straightforward process.
Yeah. That's it. And do you know what I mean? But it is the way I see it as the reason I get angry with the Alphabet stuff with the trans is the fact she sat on this app and said, give me money and I'll transition, and she never done that. And that's disgusting.
That's my issue. I'm like, you don't have to fully transition. You don't have to risk your life and go through the surgery. That's not, like, I'll still respect who you are. However, if you are sitting, and it doesn't matter what you're raising money for, if you sit there saying, right, I need this amount because I am going to do X, Y, Z, you need to do what you're saying you're doing. You can't just take the money for a cause and then go, oh, actually, I'm going to buy a designer phone case instead.
Yeah.
Like, that's not, like, that's fraud.
And the other thing as well is when she's shouting transphobia to anyone that's asking a question and shouting trans rights and all of this, like, you know, that's not okay. Like, it's, you know, like there's certain people on this app, you know, like there are trans people that are often making videos and saying that they're buying tampons and they're saying that they get periods and all of this. They are the issue for the trans community because they're the ones that are mocking it. And that's all that social media is seeing, right? People who use TikTok, they ain't seeing the people like Natasha, people like, there's actually another lady I watch called Alexa, who's actually really good. You know, they're not seeing people like that. They're seeing the worst side of it, the people that are mocking the whole trans community and making it out, you know, making claims that are not true.
Like, it's a small community, you know, overall. So when people have these huge platforms and they are doing awful things, people aren't meeting trans people on a daily. Like, a lot of people, they don't have them in their friendship groups or their families. The people who are, you're lucky because you have a better understanding. But when you're only seeing these people with these voices on platforms, it causes you to, it encourages people to make a judgment on a whole community. And the thing is, I don't think anyone can be a voice for a whole community. It's silly, but when it comes to social media, that does
people
happen. And it is,
aren't they?
Yeah, you know, it's so easy done for people who don't see it or who are not involved.
Sorry, Karen, I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second because I've just seen Connor. I want to quickly ask you something. I've seen stuff that you were that delusive Rickster account.
He was. Matt posted the pictures where Connor asked him for the account and it was him. Connor, you're disgusting.
Literally. Like, what the fuck? How dare you say that shit?
And if you listen to the recording, he speaks first and it's not Matt's voice. It's a lot deeper. And obviously Matt then, and I'm not like a huge Matt fan, but that was not Matt. So bun you, Connor.
Yeah. Connor, he's got like electric bolts either side his name and then has like dots between the letters. I don't know.
I don't think I've ever seen that account before. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, the Connor with lightning bolts in his name. That's who called Paige and Tori. It done like an AI voice saying Paige and Tori are baboons.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
He might have scrolled on because
you can see if people are here, even if they're on viewer ranking off.
Oh yeah, I can go on. Oh no, he's still here.
Get in the box, Connor. If
Honestly,
you're bad.
it baffles me. I'm like, not only are these thoughts like entering people's heads, like that's bad enough. Like, how have you been brought up for these things to even enter your head?
He
But then they
does-
decide to bring it out to their mouth.
He does diamond art and told a child to unalive before. Or not? Are you going to say anything, Connor?
Yeah, Bunalicia.
Are you going to say anything about your racism in Dave Duran's live the other day?
Well, they go around beating around the bush and all that like that. Do you know what? Jay Slater's dead. Sort yourselves out.
What, so you think that because they go around beating around the bush, you can call them baboons?
Oh, bless.
What
Well,
the
someone
fuck
needs
is
to
Jay Slater
find
got to
Connor's
do
real
with
identity.
Because she's sat on the app and you can't even look after your kids, you little slags.
My kids are at school, Connor.
Oh my god.
Did anyone record that? This guy, like, this is the type of people that go into Angie's live.
It should be on the live recording, shouldn't it?
It
Like,
will be. It'll be kept on the live recording.
honestly,
Do you know people telling me to look after my kids when my kids are at school is fucking wild? Shall I go and take them out of school and bring them home and look after them, Connor, to please you?
you have to.
Weird.
Connor said so. You have to.
Mate,
do
I
that.
don't know who that geezer is, but listen, the way you just speak to people and the way you treat people, I hope for God-given sake you have no fucking children to teach in this world. You absolute skank.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Connor,
But this is the
I've loved
thing.
growing up.
But racism isn't an issue on the app, right? There's no issue with racism, but yet we can sit and have someone call someone, two black people, monkeys. But that is racism on this app.
He
Like,
got
they
dropped by
feel saying
Spartans.
this is a fine thing to say. And these are the people then who, God help, if they do have children, them children will then think that is a normal way to treat people.
Exactly, that's what
And
I'm
that is
saying.
terrifying.
That person is the reason why things like this happen in this fucking world, right? So don't have children, please. For the sake of the human fucking race, don't have fucking children.
How has she got banned?
I don't think she has. It came with violation.
You just comment saying banned.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
This is what's driving me insane on the app. The people who are speaking out against the people who are actually saying wrong, for repeating what they have said, they are the ones getting banned, but the original person saying these things are getting away with it.
Yeah.
How is this happening?
It's a constant thing. It's like you've got Angie fucking saying words like that in her live, but the moment anyone speaks out about the issue, and you had Dave Duran's live that went on for fucking hours. That was just a shit show of worst things I've ever heard on this app. Like,
Is that the one?
Hey, you're so right. You're
I
so
don't know
right.
who this is. Abdul Shak. I don't know who this person is. I'm not letting people up that I don't know. Stop letting them get to you. They are irrelevant. Do you know what it is for me? Is I can sit on this app and I could sit here and not talk about racism and get annoyed because it doesn't actually affect me, right? But it does, because I hate seeing people hurt all the time because of their skin color.
Definitely. I would say, like, it is a blessing that I will never have to experience it personally, but it still hurts seeing other people hurt.
Yeah.
It hurts knowing that we are living in a society where people with these views are existing. Like, these people are around us, they're our neighbours. It honestly turns my stomach, because I like to think that, like, I'm lucky that in my street everyone gets along and is very accepting. Outside of that, people are afraid. Like, you know, like I was saying, like the Syrian family who have moved into my street, they could have moved into the street next to it where I know there are awful people living in that street. They could have been their neighbours and had a very different life just from being meters away from the house that they're currently in.
Yeah.
And it's so terrifying, because that will never happen to a white person. Like, we never have to worry about moving next door to someone and not being accepted just because of our skin colour. We can be hated on because of everything else that we do, but it'll never be because of our skin colour.
I don't mean don't be upset by racism, but don't let. Yeah, no, I get what you mean, Mother Focus. It's just I think the issue is that we just like my husband, right, is very much like just not ignore things, but he just thinks my voice is not going to be heard, so why do you bother, kind of thing. He's quite a chilled out, laid back person. Not that he stands by any discrimination, but at the same breath, do you know what I mean? He just doesn't want drama and things like that, which is understandable. But at the same breath, why is it just down to, you know, the person of colour to have to speak about it? Why shouldn't us as white people show against the other white people who are being racist?
It's up to us to make a difference.
Yeah.
Like, when you have white people on this platform, on TikTok, who have such big platforms, and the majority of their viewers are also white with the same opinions, or, I mean, they sit there and agree with them, so they obviously have some kind of like towards this person.
Mm-hmm.
That is why it is up to us to have a voice and speak out against it and stop these people having such a big platform. It's dangerous for them to have a platform.
I don't know who this person is, but they keep Abdul. Can you please type something in the comments, because I don't know who you are, and it says you've only got 17 followers. I'm very sus.
Yeah, I wouldn't accept.
No, because I mean, looking the stuff that's been said already today, I'm like,
Yeah, we don't need the school holiday crew in you. This is the problem with the summer holidays now. You are going to have so many young people on the app. It's also dangerous because now so many young people are going to be living these lives.
thank you, Shazzy D.
Any big creators now that like do FYP and don't speak about it, I just lose respect for it now. I lose respect for it.
You can go in the boxes now with 0 followers.
Yeah, you don't need to have... I think that is wrong as well. I think that is causing a lot of problems.
Yeah, because people are just able to make fake accounts and go in, or, you know, or children can go in now.
It's dangerous. Like, you should have to... I always say, to be able to access live, you should have to submit your ID. You have to be over the age of 18. And I think even to view lives, you should have to do the exact same process and only be over 18 to even view the live section on TikTok.
And this is why TikTok is getting dramatically worse.
It really is. It's getting to the point where... Well, aren't the boxes... Is that true that the boxes are going at the end of July?
See, what I've heard is that the boxes are going, but it's only going to be the live, like, pros that can have boxes.
Oh.
That, like, I could probably only have one person in my box, kind of thing. I think what will happen.
But
Which
all
is
the
fine.
pros are, like, no offense to them, but they are only battlers. Like, they get their live pro from making enough money and reaching a target.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna drop ladies because, like Connor said, like, you're clearly a bad parent to be in a box, and as you can hear, my child wants me. But for the sake of Connor, like, I'm a grown ass adult. I can have an adult conversation as well. Bitch, please.
It's amazing that you can multitask.
Oh, it's amazing, isn't it? God,
Honestly, well done.
I know. Flipping G.
Oh. There is now a fairy in my box with 13. I'm not going to let fairies in either. That sounded bad saying that, but somebody with just a picture of a fairy, and I'm like, no.
No fairies.
Yeah. It's not true. It's only about... See, part of me thinks it's not true either, because look at box battles. They make money off of that.
This is what I was thinking. Like, having people in the boxes gets more viewers in because you have their followers join in.
Ooh.
I just don't know, but I'm sure I read, like, online when I looked into it, there's something's happening with them, but I just didn't understand it.
Red Wine has a recording of Connor on Comic Cafe. Nice.
Good.
We'll get that posted. I love Comic Cafe more than my nan. I think they are getting a little bit... That Canadian Angie needs to shut up.
Apparently it's to stop FYP names. Yeah, so isn't it now, like, if you are naming people or anything like that, they are stopping? And if you're... So is it... If you're showing a live that's currently happening, you can get banned, but you can show a recording of something that's previously happened. I don't understand it. It's gone to the point... Like, I got a warning the other day because I wrote in someone's comments that I prefer Tesco over Asda, and it gave me a comment violation.
I got all I said is I mentioned LGBTQ and I got a warning.
That's it. Yeah, you can't say anything.
Like,
What did I have a warning for yesterday? I can't remember what the word was. It wasn't anything bad, and I was like, why is that being flagged up? It just didn't make sense. Because, it was, I again, and I think they took it as like I was calling someone a dog, but I wasn't. I was just on about my own. I was like, what is actually going on? As for Canadian Angie, she is absolutely disgusting.
yeah.
I was scrolling on something the other day, I was reading the comments, and she was replying to someone. The stuff she was saying was awful. I should have screenshotted it. I was like, I can't believe that she's just... Them comments aren't being flagged up. I was like, how are these being allowed to even be posted? It was awful.
A 7-day ban for showing a roast dinner. No, like, do you know what? She's on a tirade just now, because I do read Comic Cafe. She's on a tirade towards Red Wine and Miss Baguette. Tony is now going about saying that Comic Cafe are that 3-letter group. It's giving me Angie vibes at this point, you know, because Angie calls everyone part of that 3-letter group.
It's like, yeah, I know. I thought like all the talk of it had died down for a while, but now Canadian Angie has gone and brought it back. It's anyone who has a different view, they must be them.
Yeah.
They must be. I didn't even know it existed till a few months ago. And like people who I speak to will know that I was adamant that it doesn't actually exist. I didn't know it actually existed. I was like, that's not true. I was like, it's just something that people are saying. It's gone too far. Canadian Angie, I always thought that she was like 60 plus, but she's not. She's young, isn't she?
Yeah. And I don't think her and EQ are friends anymore. I don't think.
No, it was in the comments saying something along the lines of like, I've got what I needed from her.
Yeah.
I was like, fair enough. If that's like,
you got your platform. That's it. Like, you've got a platform, but to be honest, like, how many views does she get? Because I don't ever watch her.
I don't watch it, but I see that whenever I click the live section, when does she sleep?
I know. She's on during the day in our time, and then she's on during the night, like our time. So I'm like,
I don't understand, because I need to know how to have that energy.
well, to be fair, she doesn't talk as much. It's all the people in her boxes that seem to talk the most.
Well, this was a good, like, maybe 2 months ago. And when I scrolled into her live, apparently she was asleep and people were just talking for her. They said, like, oh, she's probably asleep. That's why she's not answering. And I was like, why? Like, why would you be asleep on live when you don't know what people are saying then in your boxes? Not only, like, you're risking your platform for a start as well.
Yeah, I think, yeah, it's crazy, but she's just another person that at some point has used money to get power on the app, and do you know what I mean? But she's just, because she sat on this app and turned around and said, now I'm not DG's biggest fan, but she actually sat here and said, oh, no, DG wouldn't have a job out of this place. DG had a business and stopped that business to do TikTok. Like, DG could 100% go back and open that business again.
Prior to TikTok, he'd already bought his house. He'd already made a life for himself. It's just the fact of people enjoyed his humour. He made a platform. He didn't no longer need to work. Fair, why would you? Like, if you were making a full-time wage off something you enjoy, you're not going to carry on, like, working so hard. It's pointless. You wouldn't do it. Nobody would.
And this is the thing, it's a double standards of everyone on the leaderboard are just a bunch of bags while you're the one with the high gifting badge. And then, and I'm sorry, I'm not slagging off Gracie here, but agencies are about, thank you so much. Can you tell me who you are? Because I don't recognise you at all. Do you know what I mean? Like, Gracie's obviously an agency. Now, agencies do make money off of people getting gifts. That's what agencies, how they make a money, right? And Gracie's agency is gifting Canadian Angie while she's saying that people on the leaderboard are just begs.
Yeah, and I've heard things of, oh, we just gifting them because they're in the agency. I'm sorry, but like, if you are running an agency, you have a responsibility that the people who you have in your agency and who are giving you money and making you money, that they are not being hurtful. Like, that is your responsibility.
Wait, as in Rosina, the one that like was in Angie's box saying shit? That one? No,
Absolutely not.
No way. Absolutely not. You're not getting in my box.
Gracie says she earns nothing from YouTube, but she does because she is. So it's slightly different, I believe, with TikTok Shop, but they still have a target to make. So all of the people who are under that agency have a target that they need to reach on sales, and then part of that money goes to the agency. So whether or not it's direct support, that money is still being fed through to whoever is managing that agency.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of agencies will say about, because the thing is, what they do is agencies get the cut, isn't it, off of, so the cut that TikTok take, the agency gets a part of that when you get gifted and stuff. So that's why you'll see the agencies will do like campaigns, like where they'll have all the people in their agency battling each other, and then who gets like the most, because they know that they're going to get all the money they can from all of the battles that are happening. That's like, do you know what I mean? It's not, I'm not sitting here because it's
I'm not necessarily against battling, but I don't think it's necessary. So if someone's having a general conversation and they're speaking to each other and it's enjoyable content, I don't mind if the battle is then running in the background. When people are sat there and they directly ask, saying, I need to be gifted this, hit this target, that's when I'm out.
2 minutes.
Oh, it's awful. Hit the speed challenge. No, I'm out. Like, as soon as I see that, I scroll off, because at that point, that's when the begging comes in, because you are making people feel pressured to hit a certain target. So people will top up their coins just because they see no one else is gifting. They're like, oh God, I better do it. The person I like to watch needs this target hit.
Yeah, because this is why I don't have an issue with like TikTok Shop, or I don't have an issue with I do certain things, like I've seen on TikTok Shop, like a PS5 is more expensive than it is actually in the shop. So I'd always say do your research, but Made by Mitchell is cheaper than buying in the shops. Do you know what I mean? Like there's certain degrees of do your research, make sure that it is the cheapest and you are getting the best, obviously, value.
Waiting right now for DPD to bring my Made by Mitchell delivery. Like, I love TikTok Shop. I love the vouchers. I make multiple accounts because they give you new buyer vouchers.
Yeah.
You get absolute bargains on TikTok Shop if you're looking correctly. However, people sell absolute tat. There is stuff on here that you can buy on AliExpress and Shein for half the price. Like, don't buy it through the links on here. Have a look first. Just Google it. Like, everyone ended up with them little astronaut lights that shine at the ceiling. They were cheaper online. They were like £1.20 or something like that on AliExpress at one point. Like, you don't feel pressured of buying through people's links just because you like that creator.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think, you know, it's fine doing the TikTok Shop. I said I don't have an issue with it because people are getting something from that. But when you're selling things that you don't know 100% is a good thing or not, like I bought something off of a creator on this app, the fans that go around your neck. And it it didn't even blow. I put it to the highest setting, it barely blew out any fucking air.
They are awful. But like, my friend had a really good one. I don't know where she got it from. I think it was Shein actually that she ended up getting it from. That was amazing. My other friend bought the ones that on TikTok Shop because she thought they were the same. It's like blowing air on yourself.
Yeah.
Nothing comes out of it. You are just buying. You're buying crap. Like, only buy it if you want it. Like, EQ is another person who pushes the TikTok Shop. Only promote stuff that you're actually using.
Yeah.
Like, don't be trying to promote products that just for a target. This is the problem with TikTok Shop agencies. There's a target, so they'll add anything they can to the shop just to meet their target in hope that someone will buy anything.
Yeah. Exactly. No, that's the thing, because I did do for like a month, I did do TikTok Shop and it was on makeup stuff. I know I never even made a commission or anything like that, but I just did it because I was making makeup videos and I thought I may as well just link below what it is. And it's makeup that I use every day. That is all.
I think it's like brilliant. Like if it's stuff that you use, I always look on TikTok shop. So like my general foundations or things that I use that I'd normally buy in Boots or Superdrug, I'll have a look on TikTok shop. If it's on offer, I'll get it through there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're better off going to the shop if you're not getting a good deal.
Yeah. Exactly. No, you are better if it's anything to do with the internet. Look around and double check and research that it is the best value, because they're going to tell you. It was funny, you know that George guy, the really super like plus size guy, and he's.
I think I know who that is. Oh yeah. The one with like, is that the one whose partner? She's like tiny.
Yeah, like his whole thing to start with was that, oh my God, I'm a big guy and I've got a beautiful wife and all of this shit. Well, he did for a while. Well, he still does actually, the TikTok shop, but he was saying, I've got the best bargains on the internet and all of this. And I was looking it up. Now, fair enough, he can't decide the things, but the PS5, while it was like, you know, everyone was still crazy buying it, was £600. But if you actually went and bought it, it was like 500 and something. So it's like it's not the best offers on the internet. Like it's bullshit.
But because it's someone that people follow and watch, they take their word for it. They instantly.
Yeah.
And this is why it is dangerous, and this is why you have to remember, anyone who is pushing a lot of TikTok shop or even like pushing in battles, they have agencies above them.
Yeah.
They will be disingenuous because they are being told what to say, what to promote, because they also need to make money. Just like any company, it's not just TikTok. It's the same. It's like you can go into Asda, see it's on an offer. It hasn't. The price was increased. Black Friday sales, that's a good example. It's always, there's 50% off this. But when you look at the original price, it's higher than it was the week before anyway. You're not actually getting a bargain.
Yeah.
Companies have to make money, and so does TikTok. So just be careful of what you're believing online. Mm-hmm. Don't take anyone, like even people's opinions, like even everything we say now, don't take it for face value, because that's just what we're saying.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's true.
Exactly. I agree. I think this is where it's difficult. I think, and obviously it's hard to buy something on TikTok shop with makeup as well. Things like foundations, because you still need to get your shade matches. I still don't understand how anyone could buy foundation offline and not know their shade range. Like that would stress me the F out.
It's impossible. Like that's why if someone brings out a new foundation and it's not on that foundation.com, I cannot buy it.
Yeah.
Because I have all my normal shades saved on foundation so I can find them. But if it's a new company and it's not on there, I can't buy it because I'm not wasting the money. It's so wasteful, and I've kind of got into a habit now of only buying. I buy solely from Vinted, and I've got obsessed with charity shops just to try and be less wasteful.
Yeah. No, I agree. Well, anyway, I'm gonna head. It's been a random bunch of conversation.
Yeah, everyone go vote. Remember, you don't need your polling card. Just take your ID as long as you're registered to vote, and vote for who you believe in, not just everyone else's. Have a read up before you go.
Yeah, go look at there's a lot of videos on TikTok where people are slightly discussing stuff and things like that. So go and look, everyone. I'm going to be voting SNP, so mine's not really a difficult vote. I don't have to sit there and go, which one do I want to vote? SNP was always the one I was going to vote for.
I'll be using the rest of like the next 2 hours to decide whether I do a Green Party, Plaid Cymru or Labour. So I don't know. I'll be fighting with myself. But yeah, anyway, bye everyone. Thanks for everyone who gifted. Didn't have to do that. I didn't realise till late. But yeah, thank you.
No worries. See you later, girl. I'm gonna do workers' party, I think. What's that? I've not heard. There's so many different parties that I've not heard of because we don't have them really up here. So I'm not sure of that one. I think it's so funny. It comes at the bottom, like, get info on the UK general election whenever you speak about anything. It's like back when they had, like, when you spoke about COVID and they would come up with the COVID informations. But yes, anyway, enjoy the rest of your day, guys. I probably won't be going live again. I need to go sort out my clothes. I need to go sort out my makeup drawers because they're a shambles, and I've bought some new things, so I need to actually get rid of the old stuff to put in the new stuff. Right, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure of them, to be honest. So I. But anyway, enjoy the rest of your evening, guys. Bye. Well, day actually, not evening. Bye. And also thank you for all the gifts as well. Appreciate it. Bye.